everybody, and welcome to episode 363 of the Saturn Studs Podcast. I'm Kurt, joined once again this week by my Italian co-hosts, Peter and Jake.
That's right, Kurt. This week, we're coming at you with the trigonometry edition of the cast. Let's all go around, name our favorite trigonometric function. Most people say sine. To me, it's cosine. It's a little underrated. But...
arctangent man.
That's a complex flavor.
I personally am a fan of cot or cotangent. I just like its vibes.
It does have good vibes.
It had a good run in the
whole tangent family is just, they got super chill energy.
I like the equality of it. 45 degrees this way, 45 degrees that way. We're all copacetic, huh?
Yeah. Don't make me no never mind.
They're the rarities, they're the oddities, they're the unique of the bunch with their radical twos, the radical two movement.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
the radical two movement.
Who's got time to mess around with the hypotenuses bullshit? No one's got time to mess around with the hypotenuses bullshit. Get them out of there.
Get them out of there.
Don't need them.
I like cosine because they're hit single. You're out of phase. I promise you this was not leading up to that bit. This was not constructed entirely to make that joke. I really promise you that.
We just naturally proofed it,
Exactly. Yes.
Hey, did you hear about those two little high school smarty pants that proved the Pythagorean theorem using like geometry or some shit?
Oh yeah,
that they cool. That they were like, nah, you don't use it, and they use like a little bit of calculus also, and I was like, fuck, dude, that's sick, that's dope.
It was like it's like however they all fit into like a triangle, and you do like an infinite series as it gets closer to the vertex.
Yeah, they did like an infinite series to prove it out, and there was like they derived it and came out to have it equal out or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was all just, I think it was in order to get like sine 2ab over b squared plus like 1 equals c squared.
Yeah, it was some kind of law of sines.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, they proved law of sines to be equal to c squared, and I was like, oh, that's neat. We're still learning about like the basics of trigonometry.
Bigonometry.
Meanwhile, the engineer in me is like, yeah, I use the theorem every day. I know it's true.
every single morning, I get up, I take the Pythagorean theorem, put it in my mouth. It's right there on the board. Yummy yum.
Yes.
So we're Jake can tell us where we're from and where we're reviewing the Mario movie, or as I like to call it, the Draymond Green story.
Look, we can come from a lot of places, but I'd like to come from a little place close to home, and that is an Italian man's dinner table. And we are coming at you with all the loved ones. They're bringing dinner over. They're bringing the pasta. They're bringing the garlic bread. They're bringing the caprese salad. They're bringing other kinds of salads that may or may not fit in that definition of salad. And it's just a lot of largely chopped things put into a bowl that they call an antipasta, and whole peppers right in there.
Giant whole peppers.
I'm going to give you another shot at this because it's not an antipasta.
Fuck.
Come on, Jake. Be a masculine about this. You know your romance languages. It's not an antipasta.
Antipasti. Antipasto.
That's the plural.
Antipasto.
All right, I'll take that. That's the plural. Yeah. It's antipasto.
Yeah.
With an O. That's the correct answer.
Oh, shit. You just really, hunked up a head of cabbage and put it in my salad.
You really, really did a man dirty there, Peter.
I Norman-splained him.
Like, that was kind of like, I didn't feel good watching that. That was uncomfortable for me to watch.
I don't fucking know.
Just put him on the spot on 420.
Yeah, how's everybody feeling today that it's 420?
You
We
can't
high?
see my eyes.
We baked, we zooted out the wazoo.
Zooty out the booty.
Is Snoop Dogg blessing us on this blessed day?
He gave us the people's elbow, so he's capable of anything.
It's the Englewood elbow.
Yes.
Point of order. Unrelated cough.
Oh, I thought that was leading into something.
No, we can just put dead air here for like 5 full seconds.
Look, you got to stop me. There's like a 50-50 chance I'm going to go back to that 9/11 Mario conspiracy string we were on for a bit. So if you leave us on dead air too long, we might end up in a camp.
Is it really dead air?
Jay, you can't say the words dead air and 9/11 in the same sentence.
Well, I did not make that connection, but oh well.
But you put it out there to be made, therefore you're guilty, and we're going to cancel you on Twitter.
I've been reading The Secret, Jake, and you're manifesting this.
How much time do you think needs to pass until we do have like a company called Dead Air? That's like another airline that's just like inspired by the 9/11.
I don't know that you're ever gonna have an airline. How would that work, Jake? What's your idea for a hijacking inspired airline?
Theme hotel? Are you thinking?
I think it's like a murder mystery dinner. Like you don't. Hear me out. I'm fucking.
I'm all ears.
Canceled. Okay, so hear me out. You order up. It's like a show. You're on a red eye from New York to L.A. That's a grueling flight. And how cool would it be?
You think it's a medieval times style attraction show?
Make it a little wider, and then you just have plants throughout the audience that just get up and.
Oh, I'm the marshal.
No yeah, and everybody gets assigned like roles. Like, oh, I'm dead passenger number 4. So like, I have to go up and be like, blah, I died or something like that. And somebody gets like the marshal role, where like at a certain point, they need to try and stop the hijackers because their box knives made it through security. And still can, or they've used like a ceramic knife.
Do they give you an envelope at the beginning, and then right before the end, you open it up to figure out which government building you're gonna hit?
Yeah, or like they do it Oprah style, where everybody checks underneath their seat and they get their roll, see what they won. Sometimes you're, you can get names into it too. You can be like,
it gives you like the memorial obituary of the person who was sitting in that seat.
Now the only insensitive part that I could see coming from this,
get the prayer cards at the door.
if you get the hijacker role, some people might just get a little bit too into it. So maybe that's done by like employees.
Yeah.
What about the people who play the first responders? Do they then several decades later have to act out their terrible cancer diagnoses?
Who gets
dude,
like you open up your role and you're the legislator who proposes the Patriot Act?
Hold up. I had a bigger idea within my idea.
I got Colin Powell as my role. I get to declare the war.
Who gets to be the guy who whispers in George Bush's ear?
Sir, a second bullet bill.
Very special young member of the audience.
So you know how they have the flight simulators that make it really realistic? What if in the front of the plane is a flight simulator, and in front of that is the actual cockpit, and you actually have to like stop them from like killing the pilots and fucking flying it into like a building or something like that?
Here we go, baby. See, now we're joking about this.
And then you put stakes on it, and it feels real. Like, oh my God, you can't let them get into
Turbulence. The air marshal shot off target. We're losing cabin pressure. Masks come down.
Wow, this is really realistic.
Oh, they're holding them hostage now with the box cutters by the oxygen lines.
So, related,
Answer trivia.
related link in the chat.
Oh God!
For the Oculus TV app, MetaQuest Surviving 9/11, the VR experience.
Sorry, what?
What the fuck?
I knew it. I was like, this probably does exist.
Is this like to help people with their trauma, or is it
It's
to
like
help
a
them relive
documentary
it?
thing. You're or like a exhibit,
You really get to feel the fucking terror of.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just like before and after
somehow,
shots.
Zoomers have to relate somehow. They didn't exist during it.
Feel what it actually felt like for somebody on the 83rd floor of the East Tower.
I really feel like the World Trade Center.
Wow. Yeah,
all right.
I could see how I would want to jump out at this point. Jesus Christ.
So, in an effort to not talk about this, started with us saying we were not going to go off on this tangent.
Dude, 12 years has passed. Come on. Okay. What are we gonna tiptoe around this for?
You sound like Tim Robbins.
12 years.
Gonna tiptoe around this? I'm not worried about any of this.
Sorry, 22 years. 12.
That's what I was laughing at the most.
Yeah.
That been a lot longer than that.
I can't math.
I'll
just
say
we
can't trailers. We can trailers though.
Good.
On topic.
Good.
Parked in front of the buildings on 9/11 were these trailers that, interesting, were purchased by the Clinton Foundation.
You've been eating some of that Alex Jones chili.
If you dig deep enough, you see they were filled with C4 and tannerite.
The whole town. All right. I guess on topic. This was all one elaborate segue to our first trailer for Reality.
What is Reality?
What?
It's an HBO movie or a show or
or documentary or something like that. So I don't remember her name. This is wasn't she like the Russian spy or whatever during the
Yes, and this or alleged. I don't know about this story, but this sounds like the story of she's under accusation from the FBI about possible sedition.
Well, I mean, with a name like Reality Winner, yeah, of course you'd be under investigation by the FBI. They got to find out what's wrong with you. Why would you pick that name for you?
Oh, is it not? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. It's
She was an airman.
Oh.
Senior airman.
Yeah, okay, it is. Sorry, it is based off of the actual whistleblower. This isn't what I thought it was. I thought this was like the Russian spy that was found to be working for some news corporation, and had a lot of evidence against her. But now this is American Whistleblower Reality Winner.
Well, they made the Snowden movie.
News people working for the Russians is on every day at 7:00.
Yeah,
or whenever the Tucker Carlson show comes on.
Yo, speaking of,
got any more cold takes you want to dish out here, Peter?
I don't know. Jake's about to talk about our old Tucky Ducky here.
Dude, speaking of the Tuck Man and his Fox overlords, they are going through it. They just lost a cool $750 million On top of that, they shit canned Dan Bongino's show, Lou Dobbs' show. Dan Bongino's a little fucking thumb from the Secret Service, and now just
I
screams
need to look
at
up
the
what
camera.
a man called Dan Bongino looks like.
Dude, he looks exactly how you think he looked like. Though he looks like a Dan Bongino.
Oh Christ!
He is the guy selling you his spaghetti mixtapes outside of like an Italian opera house in the Bronx. And he's just like, no, where's the tip, buddy?
Why is his head an upside down trapezoid?
What's going on with his hair?
He looks like those. He looks like a thumb. He looks just like a thumb.
I don't know any thumbs that look like that, my man.
Dude, if Thing or whatever from the Addams Family had a face, that'd be it. It'd be Dan Bongino.
Like, this man, I could mount this man's forehead on my wall and watch the game on it.
Dude, I don't believe in a lot of like phrenology.
I think I get a first down if you go from his eyebrow to his hairline.
Like, I don't believe a whole lot of phrenology, but like cop phrenology is real. Like, this man was born a cop, and he just had to grow up, and like they're just like, all right, welcome to the police
this fucking picture right here, where he's got the Sid from Toy Story going on. Like, if Sid didn't grow up to be cool, this is what he grew up to look like.
Yeah. His jawline has a jawline that owes money to the government. So
his jawline has like flippers. Like, he can swim through the water without moving his arms or legs.
He's got like a snout.
His head's a mask, right? Like, you have to be able to, it looks like it's coming off. Like,
man legit has like a snout. Like, the front portion of his face, his mouth and lips area is further forward. Like, there's like a step out from the jaw.
Boys,
he owns a pit bull, right? He owns a pit bull that looks exactly like him. If he was a dog, he'd be like,
he's got a roller coaster nose. This man has a roller coaster.
Oh my god!
No, it's a cute little button nose, you know.
What? That's a toggle switch, dog. A button.
My man's got a lever for a nose.
My man's got the emergency shut off.
Throw the switch, Igor.
You know, Yzma's out here going, pull the lever.
No, not that lever. I meant Dan Bongino's nose.
The Dan Bongino's nose looking one.
Holy shit! I didn't even notice the suit he was wearing in that. It's an awful suit.
What, you don't like the white on black plaid, or the black on black plaid? Sorry.
It's like pinstripes aren't enough. I need them to go horizontal.
I want them to scroll down further. You know, he's got an AR-15.
It's just
pin right under his American.
It's
flag.
just the sports coat with an American flag lapel pin. He's like wearing a fucking gray T-shirt under it.
It's probably to like sponsor like some fitness supplement that's full of like cocaine.
Yeah, Infowars.com.
Yeah.
/nutraceuticals.
This wasn't fully to make fun of Dan Bongino. It's just the fact that his show on Fox got canceled, and so did they're canceling also Maria Bartiromo and Judge Janine Pirro, who are like their
not Judge Janine.
Yeah, their B team. They're like cutting all their B team.
Well, it sounds like they're cutting all the shows that are literally just a person yelling into a camera for 60 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if this is like a backdoor deal between them and Dominion to like get rid of a good chunk of their cast. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm glad to see them falling
Fox
apart.
probably just said, "Oh, we're gonna settle. Here's who we need to cut."
Yeah, it could be too. Yeah, probably just caught
Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell can't supply all.
Dude, he settled for like $5 million.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he's worth $5 million. You know how many pillows that is?
Do you know how
You know how much
embarrassing it
cocaine that
was
is?
to have the My Pillow guy be a very important person in American politics?
Who had that on their bingo card? Like, that is the rarest pull in like a box of like American political.
That sounds like a
happenings.
fucking Mad Lib.
You got,
The pillow
oh, dude, I just
salesman.
pulled a Mike Pillow mythic rare.
Ah,
Yeah,
Mike
he's
Lindell, Pillow Man.
One of one, Mike
indicted in
Lindell
conspiracy.
mustache.
Yeah, he's the elections conspiracy ability guy. I know. I thought this was printed in next set.
Conspiracy 3, political machinations.
March of the polling machine.
Draft Mike Lindell face up.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sending this in to get graded, dude.
It'll probably be worth more than him.
Gem Mint worth $5 million to Dominion.
So that's reality.
Yeah, I don't know. Reality is just something that happened.
HBO. Moving on to were there any ones that weren't like? We got a couple.
Oh,
we got a couple of horror movies, and let's do this quick. White Bird, The Wonder Story. I don't know why it's being shown as a trailer again. I thought this came and went, but I guess it never happened.
No, it was purely for our pleasure, so we could get that amazing scene. Hey, these are pretty good for a Jew.
For a Jew.
And then what did they change it to? Someone like you?
Yeah, but they changed it back for this one. This is the unrated cut.
Oh,
is this the Red Band trailer? This is the one where they show
release the Jew cut.
Yes, this is the Jew cut. Like they're putting this one out into theaters.
The circumcision.
White Bird with more Jews.
The Moyle edition. Everyone's catching strays today.
Do you think
show.
It's like, can you make a kosher movie where the Moyle comes in and he cuts the last millimeter off of the fucking film reel?
Only if you have a rabbi bless it as it passes through the editing machine.
That's fucked.
Jewish Hollywood conspiracy debunked with this one simple trick.
Doctors hate him.
This rabbi.
Doctors hate him. It's completely unrelated to any of his medical knowledge. He's just a very difficult patient.
This rabbi will not eat this camera. It's not kosher. The Jews don't control Hollywood.
I'm not going to eat that camera. There you have it.
Wait, don't you have to just cover it in aluminum foil and just torch it all? Have you seen that? Have you seen like the Jewish families like almost burning down their kitchen so they can make it kosher?
No, I have not seen that.
We did have a
talk about the special Jewish string, the party string.
The party, is that the one where they wrap it around their arm 26 times or something like that? They have a little box of the Torah.
All right, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Dude!
No, this is the one where they cordon off a block like it's a police crime zone so they can like eat and stuff on the Sabbath.
There are 3 trailers that I pulled out to talk about today, and it's going to be an hour and a half before we get to the 3rd one.
I'm just saying that like Jewish people have like so many layers to their.
They have the best
religion.
accessories. Yes, they have the funnest accessories, and Purim sounds like it's probably the funnest holiday.
Is Purim the one where the kids dress up as like old
Everyone
men
dresses up
like,
in costumes and just gets shit-faced.
It's dope. It sounds amazing. And they have to wrap boxes around their arms and head, and they have to torch.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they cover their apartment in like tin foil, and a rabbi comes in with a fucking flamethrower and just goes, just torches everything to make it kosher.
This is the Gentile cut of the Torah. It'd be so, dude. There's like 500 times more action.
Somebody from Boston rewrote the Torah. All
And
right.
then Moses came down and he was like, "Fuck this shit. We're getting out of here." And he led all the Jews out of Egypt.
So that's why you gotta torch your kitchen and you gotta burn it down with tinfoil. Friggin' sweet.
Don't worry, my buddy Bill, he might be a Southie, but he also works in the insurance company. They ain't gonna question the claim.
Yeah, is that what they're all fishing for?
Yeah. Now it's Sunday. I don't want to fucking touch my stove. Man, if someone could come in here and fix that shit for me, that would be great. Look, I'm not talking about anyone in particular. Neighbor. All right.
Who's next?
Insidious. Darth Insidious.
I will say, as for going on for how many movies they've gone on for, I think this is one of the better horror movies. I think it's got, and the fact that it's making sequels out of it.
It's not like pretending to not be goofy at this point.
Yeah.
Like they're going into the fucking mine dungeons from Yeek. You got Tiny Tim playing as the soundtrack. There's like they do the weird like jump scare, but not even. Like he's like doing weird memory problems in the window. And
that was the strangest one to see. That's a lot more setup than just like on a table, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever, you know. We all got to study some way, and the son's going off to art college or something, and they're still being haunted by some shit. And there's a door because the movie's name is The Red Door.
The Red Door.
Yeah. What color is the door?
All right,
Great.
We're putting odds on. What are the chances that Paint It Black plays in this movie at some point? Because they see a red door and they want to paint it black.
Oh.
It would be like right at the end if it happened at all.
I agree. Either that or the credits. But that's how it's going to be. I'm looking at the set. This is almost like an Italian giallo film from the way it's like in some portions, the way it's lit. It's fucking wild.
I mean, they might be outsourcing them to Italy at this point.
Like these scenes in the haunted. Oh, you know what? It's inside their mine dungeon. That's why the colors are all fucky. Because there's like bright orange lights, but there's like neon blue fog everywhere. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I never watched any. Wasn't the original Insidious like there was a kid who was like evil or some shit? What movie am I thinking of? Where it's like the kid is actually like
there was a kid on the
evil
poster. Well, I mean, there's a lot of movies like that. You know, the Omen.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I was. Yeah. Maybe I.
The Orphan.
I got no clue.
The fucking. But there was a kid on the Insidious like poster.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you're thinking of. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. These movies all blend together for me. And this
Bump
one's just going to be on the pile.
Bump that shit. We got a new fucking kaiju movie.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so hyped, and Monkey is back. Monkey's back on the menu,
Kong
baby.
X Godzilla Monkey Madness.
Yeah, so they got that monkey from the Jungle Book to be the bad guy, and he's big.
Like Cranky Kong has come back to claim the Kong country.
Yeah, so we got Cranky Kong, but maybe also a little bit of Godzilla blood in him. The running theory, because this is a very just do nothing teaser. Mm-hmm. It kind of just establishes a possible villain.
It's a title.
Here's all the CGI we have up till now.
It's like a teaser for the teaser. It's the title announcement. That's right. It's well, I guess they did change it. So it used to be Godzilla versus Kong, and now it is Godzilla X Kong, which
Cross.
means like
Dawn of Kai Justice.
I mean, why don't they say cross? It's X, like Hunter X Hunter. It's Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire.
It's literally
Although, dude,
Cross. And you know
I
why
don't
I
know.
know that? Because the 3DS announcer calls it Project Cross Zone, not Project X Zone.
I don't care. It's an X. Is it multiplied?
This is
Godzilla times Kong?
like never was there
Crossover.
ever more of a wrestling promo than this trailer was.
Dude, but I'm so
Yeah.
here for it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like they're setting up the new bad guys. Like, oh, there's a Godzilla skull and a Kong skull. This guy must be badass. And of course, you
So,
want to see him fight.
running theory
Right.
is I think Orangutan Man is a Project Monarch creation where they took the blood of Godzilla and the blood of Kong and made a monkey out of them.
And cross them together.
And maybe that's why the title is what it is. Maybe
Kongzilla.
or villain something completely different, and this is Godzilla and Kong doing the fusion dance.
They strike me as
Yeah.
more of a Potara
Do they turn into
earring,
Kongzilla or Gong? Which one's the right one? Which one's the weak
I don't
one?
know. Yeah.
It'd be Codzilla, wouldn't it?
Cods.
Godzilla.
He's aquatic. He can
Godzilla.
swim through water as though it were land. Katsuya. So I don't know. Like I hats off to fucking Legendary and Universal, right? Universal.
Warner, I think.
Huh?
Warner Bros, I think.
Warner's, okay. For actually like fucking piling this slop heap into an actual like almost canon. Like this is a more connected universe than fucking the DC cinematic universe.
At this point, yes, this is to this point, the Godzilla / King Kong universe is Warner Brothers' most successful cinematic franchise. Like,
Yeah, I'm
cinematic
so
universe.
here for it.
And DC even has more monkeys than Kong. We've already go watch a previous go watch another episode of Saturn Studs. There's like a 10% chance on any given episode we're talking about all the monkeys of DC.
It has happened more times than you would think, but perhaps one time is more times than you would think.
Yes. And then the last one is the Boogeyman number 2, the Toogie Man. It's the only thing that stands out for me in this trailer is the beginning, where to like do exposure therapy for the child, like to get over its fear of the dark. The lady is like, here's this flashing light that's going to blink on and off, and I'm like, no, that's not going to help the child. That's going to be the scariest thing that child has ever experienced. Like, what?
They're just going to withdraw enough and never complain again, and you're going to call that a success.
Like, I don't know if you guys watched the trailer, so just watch the beginning. You don't even have to watch with the sound on.
I saw the first trailer.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a repeat of like a lot of the first one, so I didn't really bother watching it.
I mean, a lot of it is. But the first part that they added on, it's just the goofiest shit. Where she's like, "Where this? See, there's nothing to worry about as the light blinks on and off."
It does seem terrifying though. Like that does. If I was that kid, yeah, that's awful. Why would you do this? This is torture. No, send me the Gitmo.
This is literally how you set up. Like, this is what they do when you need to intentionally do the something is creeping closer to you scare.
I'm sure all like the child therapists and psychiatrists are just like watching this being like, the fuck? That's not real. That's never been real. This sounds like you're going to give the kid a seizure.
Yeah.
We've done some fucked up shit.
Just fuck up your kid 101.
Nah, they'll be fine. Builds character.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is the theme of the movie, I guess, is like no one really gives a shit about the kid. No one's gonna take her seriously, and that's how they all will pay.
It's like putting
it's scarier than Insidious. So
it's like nightmare.
What if it is just like an Alex Jones?
Yeah, just get your child high on acid, give him a couple mushrooms or something like that, and just be there to just scream nightmare at them and see if it breaks them up of their fear.
You ever see that clip from The Simpsons where Bart's afraid of the dark, and Homer's like, let me see, Simpsons Homer chainsaw. Fucking classic clip here, where Bart's he's always like afraid of the dark, and he's like heading to sleep. This is how I feel. This is the animated version of that trailer. He's like, he's like cutting him a fucking brown.
Yeah.
It's such a good clip.
Yeah, this is great radio we're producing here.
Just go look up.
Turn off and watch
at home. Just go look up Homer Simpson chainsaw hockey mask.
No more sending YouTube clips.
Yeah.
We're creating dead air.
You can't be doing that, Peter. This is your second strike.
We're already in the shit. I've already sunk this episode into the toilet.
Yeah, just dump this one. We'll just skip this week.
Dump the feed.
Did you guys do The Last Voyage of Demeter?
Yes.
Last week? Yeah. That came out in time. All right.
Like we said last week, it's a pretty good idea to do the ship part of the Dracula story, as Kurt says, because he's the only one who's read it. At least I haven't. He said it's the real part where everyone like actually dies.
Yeah, it's probably the scariest part of the book.
Oh, so this is like an actual thing that happened in Dracula, the book.
Yeah. And it's a classic Dracula trope of they even make a joke about it in What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, I just thought maybe it was like snakes on the plane, but like Dracula's on a boat.
I mean, that's why it's such a good concept for a movie. Is that like, this part of that book?
Are you saying
perfectly to a?
Are you saying Snakes on a Plane and its subsequent spin-offs or rip-offs are inspired by the book Dracula?
Yes.
I am saying that Samuel L. Jackson looked to Bram Stoker for his interpretation of his character.
Bram Stoker deserved a writing credit on both of those movies.
That's smart. Well, good shit. That is it. Did we do it?
Trailers.
I think so. All right.
Yeah, it was a week for week for trailers, but that means Hollywood's just gonna give us the money shot next week.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe
that's how these things usually go.
We'll see. But we'll also see how movies that have actually come out are doing in our segment we call the follow-up. And
speaking of the follow-up, I just have to say one thing. My cousin decided to watch a couple of our previous recordings or listen to them on his long road trip that he recently did.
I see.
One thing in particular that he said, he felt compelled out of the total probably 4 hours that he listened to, because I know there were 2 different episodes where, it was pretty good reviews, and man, what a shit take from one of your friends about the Mario movie. It was like he couldn't have been more wrong.
Peter really put himself out there on that one.
I'm so upset that I missed last week that I could be like,
you should you have it now. You can fucking rub it in my face, boys. I will win the county fair with that fucking humble pie
Mario is the two-time 2 weeks in a row, baby. Number 1. It's a me, Mario, top of the box office. Also raking in the cash for like everybody. Like, I mean, all
yeah.
Even
like,
though
it's a pretty
all the
strong box
people-
office this week, even
Yeah,
though it's
even
down
though-
like 30%.
all the people who were kids when the game originally came out are adults with children at this point.
It's
I
perfect.
feel like I can't conceive, like I can only conceive of the middle-aged people going to see this movie as, let's see what these Marios are all about. I heard about the video game, but I want to see what this character on the Nintendos is.
I remember
They made a movie about
Nintendogs.
him.
Our boomer parents being like, "Oh yeah, I remember buying Billy or Chelsea or whatever their first Mario game," and just being like, "Aha, funny Italiophobic, little stereotypical pizza man." I wonder what this is about, and then they're like, "Oh God, this is awful." He wants to do what with Princess Peach? Oh, but they're not compatible. Yes, I am saying the Mario movie.
That's not a traditional marriage.
Encourages bestiality, Italiophobic stereotypes, and Koopacide.
Yeah, they didn't have the Jesus on the cross over the kitchen in the movie.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got a whole segment at the end of the show to talk about this movie.
I want to talk about it now, baby. Let's flip the script.
$92 million this week for the Super Mario Brothers movie, down 36.9%. Opening in 28 theaters, there were 28 theaters that were like, nah, we'll get it next week.
Hold off. They were the ones that were showing the Abraham movie last week.
Yeah. $720 million worldwide already for a Super Mario Brothers movie. So it's on pace to be $1 billion movie.
I was gonna say they were the ones that were banking on Renfield to being the big hit. It's a Mario movie.
It is kind of interesting though how like you, despite living through Minions Rise of Gru, making $750 million at the box office, or almost, actually, it was closer to $1 billion, wasn't it? It was like 900, close, something like that.
Yeah.
Thought that a much more recognizable IP would do worse.
I'm not even going to amend my statement. I will say, all I'm going to say is that I guess I'm not surprised. You know, how it turned out, it wasn't what I predicted, but I'm not surprised that an Illumination plus Mario would equal dollar signs.
I mean, Nintendo called it from the beginning when they cast Chris Pratt as Mario. They said he's really cool. He's so cool.
It is, yeah. This is maybe the most marketable single concept ever to be created. Like there are Don Draper's creaming his pants over this concept right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this movie was kind of AI written. Like it kind of gets to that point where like I'm waiting for the next AI written movie to just like smash everything in the box office.
Oh yeah,
and win. That might be Barbie for all we know. To be honest,
ChatGPT wrote Barbie, won the Oscar.
ChatGPT-ilberg. That's Super Mario Bros. Movie, which we are going to talk about because like we aren't going to not talk about it. But in second, our spotlight is the Pope's Exorcist. How is this the one in second this week? Wild.
Because John Wick Chapter 4 had been in theaters for 4 weeks. $9 million for Pope's Exorcist in 3,100 theaters. It's made $38 million worldwide so far, but more importantly,
official sponsor of WrestleMania.
Yes, it sponsored the Hell in the Cell match between Edge and Finn Balor.
Oh my God!
Russell Crowe proves.
Russell Crowe cut a promo before it.
Were they banking on all the Christians to be like, oh man, last week was the holy day, and I got a little bit of religious still in the tank, so let's go see the Pope's
There's
Exorcist.
been a lot of Christian movies out lately in the top of the box office. Like number 10, which we'll get to, was Nefarious, which was marketed as a horror movie, but apparently was just like a Christian movie.
It's almost as
So
if they felt emboldened to release their movie around a major holiday for that religion.
But like after though,
somebody came up to me at bowling beforehand and mentioned he went to a double feature. I think it was a double feature. I sure hope so. I don't think he went to the movies like twice in a week to go see the Pope's Exorcist and Nefarious. I feel like it was a double feature. What a double feature! But apparently Nefarious has the famous Glenn Beck.
And yes, that's what I heard. He was in that movie.
What about his chalkboard? Did that make an appearance?
By the way, have y'all seen Glenn Beck recently?
No, is he?
It's weird saying this, but Mans has fallen off.
Did he metamorphize? Did he like?
He got the I don't know how to call it. Like he got the lifesaver beard. He got the powdered donut facial hair.
Yeah. It accents his second chin really nicely, though.
Well, none of that has to do with the Pope's Exorcist.
Well, kinda.
And it is our spotlight.
Because Glenn Beck is filled with demons.
You know what? I can't argue that point.
And we're filled with movie reviews from the real demons.
The real demons in the IMDb user review section need to be excised, and we bring them to light with the power of our voice.
It bears mention that there is a new rival, a challenger in the sphere for the power, which is Letterboxd.
We could never do this segment with Letterboxd.
No, I don't think we can.
No, we can't. But like, I should mention that. Holy shit! It's just a movie hot take machine, and we love that shit.
All right, I'm gonna look up the Pope's Exorcist on Letterboxd and see if I can't find some competing.
Just give us a sprinkling while we go look over the while we get set ready and getting to go.
Well, Pope's Exorcist is looking pretty mid. 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 48% Rotten Tomatoes, 44% Metacritic. But again, none of that shit matters because they're not real people. These professional reviewers. Have you ever seen someone behind a newspaper? Do you know that they exist for sure? You know that these people.
Have you ever seen a real person make a movie review? I haven't.
No, never. Certainly haven't done it like 360 times. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. But what does happen is people like Ruslan Washir submitting reviews. 10 out of 10 review for The Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe was terrific. Loved the movie. It's witty, dark, enjoyable. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, and this one was just perfect. Definitely more a mystical thriller with religious motives. Left the theater with a smile on my face. I think a sense of humor is what most of the movies lack today. Not Marvel's stupid, corny jokes, but real witty humor. For me personally, this was one of the major driving forces of the picture. You don't generally see that people laugh several times during a horror movie. Sense of humor, charm, charisma go a long way, and you're tasked with playing a priest exorcist. It's not what people would expect, and it's perfect. 1 out of 2 found that helpful. It's a very targeted review.
Powerful. Really resonant out there. What'd you
Started
find, Jake? Give a spring. Season us with a couple Letterboxds.
3.5 stars. Film of the year. You'll come. 4 stars. Me when I'm being silly. 2 stars. Let's go to hell. Kind of like an MCU movie, but Russell Crowe is Iron Man and the Pope is Nick Fury. That's just a couple tidbits I thought were fantastic.
Well, that's like a holy water over your reviews.
Yeah. Okay.
Focus.
We'll go with some of
Lasers.
the IMDb, the real users. Somebody decided to write a fuck ton for one, so I'm gonna skip that and go to this one. Unless we get in the comments, unless the live chat really wants me to read this one, then I'll
Smash
post
that
them.
like button, or else we won't see.
Yeah. Maybe donate to Mega Chat or whatever. I can't believe Crow participated in this. I'm a very astute movie fan. From horror to Marvel, I've seen them all. The characters have no depth. No time is spent on developing the characters, so you really don't care what happens to them. The special effects are just bad, man. I mean, bad. The shaking bed, lights flickering, the possessed individuals, and the story itself. It's all bad. It looks so fake. I mean, it's fake. It is fake. Anyway, but you're looking at a movie. It's supposed to make you believe that it could be possible. I actually couldn't believe it. Multiple periods. I couldn't believe that Russell Crowe, the Academy Award winner, Gladiator man himself, took part in this garbage. He must be low on moolah or something. The Exorcist, the original, is still number one to this day. You could even go with a good werewolf movie such as The Howling, only the first one, of course, or The American Werewolf in London.
Your sister's a werewolf.
All of my recommendations are a little old, but they haven't made anything close to those movies yet. I could go in depth and explain why, but I'll save that for another time. If you haven't seen this movie yet, go ahead, watch it. You have been warned. 12 out of 13 found that helpful.
Fair enough. 5 out of 10 review here from Mkwubumkwumja.
Yes.
5 out of 10. No vowels anywhere in there. 5 out of 10. The Nun had a baby with the right. 5 stars by default. Everything from the script to the exact phrases to the characters and even the setting is the exact same as every other Vatican exorcist movie ever created. This is basically The Right mixed with a little The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Absolutely nothing new under the sun. I can agree, having Russell Crowe play the Exorcist was great, but Anthony Hopkins already nailed that role, and he did it better than Crowe could. By default, this can only get a 5 because you're watching the exact same thing over again. Mocking God, what's your name? Don't address the demon directly. Pray, unclean spirit. I mean, it's all there and all the exact same. The movie takes place in an abbey, like the name Abigail.
Yes, and right, as in not the direction.
Right. That's not how. By the way, that's not how you spell Abbey, as in the nunnery building. Anyways, takes place in an abbey which screams the nun. I'm sure many abbeys do. With all that said, it's worth a watch because it's funny at times and is a horror movie about exorcism. If you're a horror fan like I am, especially when the Vatican is involved, then it's certainly worth a watch, but to rate it more than 5 stars is ridiculous. 3 out of 14. Found that helpful.
I'm very unclear on where he stands with Vatican horror movies. Like, he makes several digs at them earlier, and then he's like, I'm a fan of these movies in particular. He said in mixed signals.
My guy doesn't have, he doesn't have a syllable in his name. I don't know how trustworthy is he?
Yeah, like he's sending mixed signals, but there's no mixed signals coming from our next reviewer. Do not come to the cinema depressed, who I believe is a returning feature on this segment. He either really loves a movie or really hates a movie. Umbrella raining on the umbrella emoji, lightning emoji. Literally perfect in what it does. Nothing more, nothing less. Man going to bed emoji? Not sure what that one's supposed to be.
Snoresville.
Another perfect film from what I saw. What is randomly capitalized? Everything it sets out to do, it executes strongly and not weak. My eyes were fixed to the screen. Highlights. Number 1, Russell Crowe is leading this thing. And he's leading this thing with absolute conviction. Great performance, my man Russell Crowe. Number 2, the plot has various things in it that are infrastructure of this film, origin of this particular demon, how it possesses people, strengths and weaknesses of the demon, strengths and weaknesses of the humans, the church's hundreds of years history with battling this demon, an overall master plan of this demon. Number 3.
What's it about?
Various things in it that are infrastructure of this film. Do you need me to read it again?
Yeah, please, from the beginning. Don't cop out, please.
Number 3, the film has quite intense moments, and then it also has levity to break up the tension, and I thought this was a great element of the film. Number 4, that runaway towards the ending was so damn good. End of list. The various twists and turns, you really didn't know how it would end. Whether it was a downer ending or a traditional hero win. Overall, it was perfect in how and what it actually does. 0 out of 1 found that helpful. 0 out of 0 sense to any of the capitalization. Just words randomly capitalized.
Just fucking going for it.
But yeah, I definitely, after having read it, we've definitely seen this guy before.
So, I probably should have read this other one, but maybe this is too much church. The first review was pretty solid, of a 1 star. But I did. There was one that I'm not going to read that pointed out some Catholic Church stuff, and I was like, cool. They got like some things with the confession wrong. There's exploding naked women. And then they also compared the possession of the demon, how it travels around. They were like, it travels by mouth. Sounds like COVID, anyone? Gee, really, really off.
That's, of course.
So, but I'm not going to read that one. Instead, I'm going to read this one, which also brings up the church and makes maybe a reach. I don't know if it's a reach or if it's maybe the movie has some intentions behind what it did and how it was written. So, entertaining movie until it becomes immoral. Parentheses, not
Really?
what you think. In parentheses. Warning, spoilers.
Not sure what I think.
So, spoiler, Russell Crowe is fun. And the movie moves along quite nicely. There's a mystery that must be solved too. Wonderful special effects. And the game cast round out what should have been a fun, occasionally scary, whatever that means, movie. Unfortunately, ... in 2 different scenes, Father Exorcist discovers truths about the past of the Catholic Church regarding their most infamous transgressions, the Spanish Inquisition, and the more recent decades-long sexual abuse scandal. And what is the film's conclusion, you ask? That the devil did it. The devil did it all. Not humans, the devil. This film literally vomited all over everyone who ever suffered at the hands of the Catholic Church. Good going. Unfortunately, 0 out of 0 found it helpful.
Maybe they were a little politically motivated on that one. I don't know.
Could have been. I don't know if it's a reach. Maybe it's a reach. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
I don't know. I am
Spanish, but nobody ever expects the Spanish Inquisition, including me.
It's truly a surprise every time.
Yeah. True.
Finally. We got. Well,
Jake's just walking off the set here.
We have this 5 out of 10 from Persian Bell, and let me get into character a little bit. 5 out of 10. I fell asleep during a Russell Crowe movie. I have to admit, I went to the theater at the end of my recovery from an illness, and it was late at night, and I was tired, and I'm not in my 20s anymore. But I love Russell Crowe's performance, no matter where, and I can never miss a good horror movie. And I do enjoy exorcism movies. Still, I fell asleep numerous times during the film, and I'm pretty sure I didn't miss much. Russell Crowe's foreign accent was not becoming of him, I think. We're used to seeing him in different kinds of roles. The film had far too much in common with The Exorcist to be taken seriously. I don't know. I really wanted to like it. I guess I'll rewatch once it's released, and maybe then I'll have a different opinion. But for now, thus is my rating. Sorry, Russell Crowe. 5 out of 7. Found that helpful.
Yeah, so everyone has to go watch the video version of the show to see what happened there. I will give you a brief recap. Peter did a voice imitating a woman who perhaps had a deepened voice due to years of chain smoking. And to sell this illusion, he had a pen tucked into his hand as if it were a cigarette. And in the middle of that, he took a drag off his pen cigarette and coughed into his microphone for all of you to hear.
Destroying
but not
you.
see, because if you're listening to the audio version of the show, you'd have no concept of what were happening.
So that is that strike 2.5, Kurt?
I mean,
We're gonna have Zeno's errors here.
Do I cancel it out by getting up to go do a line of coke in the
that
bathroom?
was a whole nother thing here. We had Jake walking off the set. I'm losing control of the shit. The wheels are coming off.
No audio listener would have known.
Metaphors are getting mixed. Cats and
Audio
dogs living together.
Look, I may not be the
would
brightest
none
crayon in the knife drawer.
Oh my god! A man
I'm definitely not the brightest bulb in the shed.
You can't go do a bump of coke in the bathroom alone in some peace and privacy. What? I thought this was America, man.
I want to, Jake. Which Disney character do you have on your Coke spoon?
What?
You know, it's all the rage. You need like a cool, marketable. You know, you want like maybe like the gangster Tweety Bird, right? You have like the Tweety Bird with the baggy pants and the arms crossed.
Guess again. It's sassy Tinkerbell.
Oh shit!
Cause this little lost boy ain't ever growing up.
I hear you get a free pair of leopard print pajama pants when you buy that one.
Yeah, dude. It's great because they
for
double
wearing
his workout.
Exclusively in public.
They double his workout pants, even though I never work out. But don't tell
I like
my
how they
gym.
stretch so I can drink as much wine as I want, and they're just gonna go. They're just
stretch
gonna go
with
right
you.
there with me.
As my
Like it's its own fashion statement. Like you wear that, and you have the Tweety Bird shirt, and you have, or like you said, the sassy Tinkerbell, and you have the neon green flip flops.
dude, you're missing the greatest fit ever, which is the like giant oversized wolf head t-shirt and then the NASCAR M&M leather jacket to go over top that.
Oh, that's bold. Shit.
That's real cool.
I think it needs.
I think
you need a fanny pack emblazoned with like a local bowling alley, right? Like the logo from the local lanes.
No. It's got to be like a giveaway at the racetrack, like horse racing or dog racing.
No, it should be actual racing. Like the jacket and the fanny pack match, but have nothing to do with the t-shirt.
I hate this. I looked up on Google Images like Eminem NASCAR jacket, like hoping I'd find some memes of
Dude,
like,
there's an
of what I
Eminem
just
car, so there's going to
described.
be an Eminem car NASCAR.
There are so many people who are modeling it that look good in it, and I hate it. Because these are not the people that wear it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's...
Like, they're styling it. No, it needs to be with, like, a Budweiser shirt and, like,
a nice, cool Budweiser.
a federal booby inspector hat, you know?
FBI.
You're supposed to wear Crocs, not Yeezys with these, not high tops. Come on.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
I thought I was going to get memes.
This is unsettling.
I just got served
these high
maybe
fashion
the
models.
future fashion.
I have to
this is
fucking question my reality now. Like, this is...
All right, maybe Twitter has it. Maybe Twitter memes have me backed up. Come on.
No, she's not even, like, trashy. That's a little trashier, but still looks okay.
I may have to buy myself a super tacky racing jacket. I don't know. See, then again, I wouldn't be able to pull this off.
Okay, focusing back here to the box office.
No, I want to talk more about streetwear fits.
I gotta go to bed at some point.
It's 8:30. The sun just set. We have
John Wick Chapter 4 is in third with 8.
Speaking of the sun setting,
yeah,
who
John
told
Wick...
it could set this late? Isn't it crazy? How time
I was gonna say John Wick stayed up all night, and look at what happened to him. He's all right.
Yeah, right.
He got to die. He didn't have to go to work in the next morning.
It's true. It's true. Bailed out, buddy.
8.04.
Yeah.
Down 44%. 52 million worldwide. Yes, Renfield in fourth. Opening 8.026 million.
We're probably gonna see that at some point, just because of the Nicolas Cage factor.
Yeah, I'm a Cage guy. I go support my mans. 12
Cage fighter.
12.3. Yes, I'm a Cage fighter. $12.3 million worldwide for Renfield. So not looking so hot for a boy, but hey, doesn't mean
We've
it
seen
can't
worse.
I've seen much worse. Recently, I've seen much worse.
Yeah.
Air, $7.8 million for fifth place. Down 2 spots.
You could say it's falling.
I could do that, but you know what? I'm not going to do that.
That's my job.
Tell you that it's made $56.7 million worldwide to date. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, or Among Thieves, I suppose I should say the title properly. $7.5 million. It's made a tidy $160 million, but considering it was a $150 million budget, it's not best.
Yeah. Maybe if she didn't wild shape into an owl bear, it would have made more money. That's probably what brought the whole movie down.
Yeah, they had to change the rules.
Suzumi.
It's wild that they did that.
As
Shape. Wild shape.
me.
Yeah, speaking of shape, yeah, he wild shapes into a chair.
Oh yeah, this is the chair. This is the chair movie.
The chair boy. This is Chairman the anime.
This is someone's erotic fucking fan fiction.
We're gonna find this on the one of those Dojin sites. You know, I've never been there.
Kurt, you were just saying how much you loved anime and how inspiring it was.
Yeah, I'm sure this movie totally deserved to make $150 million in Japan. A modern action-adventure road story where a 17-year-old girl named Suzume helps a mysterious young man close doors from the other side that are releasing disasters all over Japan. Are we sure this is about the dude who turned into a chair?
Confident. Absolutely 100%. It's like Beauty and the Beast.
Fuck anime, man.
But it's Daisy and the Davenport.
I can't. We're just gonna move on. Steep drop from 7th to 8th year with Mafia Mama opening up to a tidy $2 million in 2002 theaters.
Thank you, Bleecker Street Media, for producing Mafia Mama.
$82,000 international. Or is it playing like just in Ontario, just in like Toronto?
No, it's playing in Venice.
Yes, I'm sure.
All the Italians are watching this with rapt attention. Scream 6.
That's what Jake's doing right now instead of
he's watching
participating in the show.
I'm trying to scour Reddit to see if there are any NASCAR jacket memes. But apparently all the people in Manitoba County get there's people wear them, like half of them wear in Manitoba County. They're looking for.
Jake is going just as fast as any NASCAR driver. He's keeping pace.
I was also trying to see when we got down to Nefarious to see if there are any funny letterboxed reviews of. Nefarious.
Nefarious.
Nothing.
Well, we're almost there with Scream 6, which is they're pulling out. They're pulling the knife out. They're getting out of here with only 15 million this week, but you know what the hell? Looking at that total, international total out here of
Peter, how much money did this make? This week?
167 million.
No, this week. How much did you say?
I said 15 million. 1.5 million decimals. I know them. They're this, and I know that they are at the other end of the number than the commas. They blend in like some kind of comma chameleon.
Comma, chameleon.
They do, don't they? Don't they use that in lieu of decimal places in many countries?
They do. That's the European way.
Yeah.
They swap them.
That's not confusing at all.
No, sir.
It's almost nefarious that they do that.
Nefarious. Yeah, starting out in 10th with what might have been a cool premise, but oh boy, just didn't.
So Lee Dio Gloria releasing. I think people probably should have seen that this was a religious movie a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny shit. Well, not a lot. It's a lot of like people just hating on the right on Letterboxd, but it's just like, yeah, Christian pro-lifers watching this movie being like, rock on, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, you were in the top 10, Nefarious. You did it with 1.3 million. Whoa.
On the day of his scheduled execution, a convicted serial killer gets a psychiatric evaluation during which he claims he is a demon and further claims that before their time is over, the psychiatrist will commit 3 murders of his own.
That's like a cool premise.
Almost.
Somebody said...
Shame the movie sucked, I guess.
Somebody said, how did no one realize how ironic it is that the actual canonical demon in the movie is the one to spout the right-wing rhetoric? Like he's the one that literally tells the main character that abortion is murder. And then the main character is like, damn, you're so right.
He's just like me for real.
That's how they see themselves, I guess. I don't know.
Is it a weird projection? I don't know.
If the shoe fits, I guess. Anyway, I guess we're done talking about.
Fits, wear it.
I think we're done talking about that, and we can talk about gaming news.
Mario
from around the globe.
You were close, Jake.
Sorry, I've been off for a week.
Mario is a game. Yes.
Yeah, man, right? Is he trending? No. Oh, is PC Gamer fixed? I remember last time I was here, my PC Gamer was broken. It was
Just
it
yours
wouldn't go
personally.
onto the it wouldn't go onto the second tab of news. I was stuck on perpetually news that came in the past 13 hours.
Well, I've got an interesting little story from Rich Stanton of PC Gamer, talking about the canceled Star Wars Battlefront 3. That would have been a sequel releasing in 2008 to Star Wars Battlefront 2 for 6th-gen consoles. It was being developed by Free Radical, who were a studio comprised of ex-Rare devs best known for the Time Splitter series, which were excellent games in the 6th-generation consoles. They were also almost as well known for the disastrous flop of PlayStation 3 exclusive Haze, which has a very interesting development history you can read up about or watch Matt McMuscle's What Happened on it. Free Radical went bankrupt shortly after releasing Haze, but the death blow probably came with the cancellation of Star Wars Battlefront 3, which was an ambitious game intending to mix on-ground strategy with spacefaring dogfights simultaneously, with objectives that affected both. So kind of like taking the space battle, ground battle concept from the second game and connecting them.
Sounds intense.
Yeah. Free Radical was several years into development when it decided the project needed to be delayed, and they went to LucasArts and discovered that LucasArts would rather cancel the game and cut its losses. And now, some years later, we have comments from Naughty Dog's head of something at Naughty Dog. Where is it?
Some kind of naughty head dog.
Free Radical 7 cuts losses, especially cancellation. 2 years from the finish line at the time of cancellation. One of the former developers said it was an absolute crime. It was gone on to Michael Barclay, who was a junior designer at Free Radical at the time and is now lead designer at Naughty Dog. Credited on games including Last of Us Part 2, Uncharted Lost Legacy, yada yada. Said, and I quote, "I feel like it's been long enough now to come out and say Star Wars Battlefront 3 was going to be legit incredible, and the fact it got canceled 2 yards from the finish line is an absolute crime. Gamers don't know what they were robbed of." And there is
totally sick, bro.
And there is leaked footage. I don't know if this surfaced recently, and that's why this is in the news, or he just tweeted randomly, but there is some internal real footage of the game. That's not what I wanted to click. I will drop the link in the Chizat, and it does look pretty dang good. A lot of similar. It looks unfinished. Obviously, it's unfinished as fuck. But a lot of the concepts they show, looked very promising, and they've had enough to cut together 7 minutes of demo reel here. And yeah, like I always wondered why there wasn't a Star Wars Battlefront 3.
Yeah. I mean, especially trilogies were super popular at that time too,
Yeah, and like you figured the first two were very successful and they would make a third one. I know Pandemic which was the studio that made the first two Battlefronts and also the Mercenary series. They got bought by EA and made the Saboteur, which flopped, and then they shut down the studio.
Whoops.
Because that's what EA does.
Yeah.
So I would have been surprised to see that Free Radical took over the development, but yeah, it sounds. He's very adamant about this, and he's made a lot of good games, and the
like some of this footage
internal
is
trailer
pretty sexy, like the like mid-air battles in Coruscant airspace.
Yeah, and just the overall polish of it is really, really pretty something. And the cutscenes would have been a new thing for Battlefront series. So this kind of looks like, in a lot of ways, the marriage between the modern Star Wars Battlefront series and the classic Star Wars Battlefront series. And I think that would have been a really nice happy medium to hit for everyone.
Yeah, because wasn't one of the complaints about the modern Battlefront duology, I guess, at this point, that like the air battles almost had nothing to do with the ground battles. Like, yes, in theory they were connected, but they didn't. You know, if you were a trooper on the ground, you really didn't feel. You know, it was hard. It would be hard for air units to cause you problems.
I feel it was kind of like, I mean, it is kind of what the game was, right? It's Battlefield in a Star Wars skin for the most part. Like it has very similar gameplay characteristics to DICE's Battlefield series because it runs on the same engine and is made by the same studio. I don't know that the major criticism I remember of Star Wars Battlefront, the most recent ones, is that the first one had no like campaign. I think it might have been multiplayer only.
Yes,
which people were upset
and
about.
there were all the obvious complaints about loot boxes and
the microtransactions, star cards. I remember being very controversial for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I remember most being criticized about it. Although I have heard recently, well, not that recently now, but I've heard at some point in the fairly recent past, the game actually reached a state where it's pretty enjoyable.
Well, it's good to hear at least.
But yeah, it's a real. We always hate to hear about a canceled game, especially one in a series that you really enjoyed as a kid. And actually, I was playing some classic Battlefront 1 on my Xbox the other day. Just had a hankering.
It's just good. It's a snack. Games. Munch it up. Snacking. Speaking of games we like, as you know, I only know of 3. I only know of like 5 games maximum. My brain is too small for more games. So, bully for me when I got news on this latest. I actually caught it in the latest Nintendo Indie World Direct video thing. It was No Man's Sky last week. So what is it this week, Kurt?
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Hell yeah. There was a story trailer in Japanese that dropped. Not one in English, just the Japanese one. But there was an English trailer for the release date. The game has an actual, honest to God, fucking release date.
Woo!
Now. It is August 18th, and it's looking hype. I'm as hype as ever. Thing looks great. More tracks have been kind of filtering through on these trailers. I can actually play it. It's a thing I'll be able to play by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm interested myself in this game. I just haven't been comically so as Peter has.
Just magnetized to it.
So
I'll also
I'm
throw in a quick
happy.
one. Advance Wars 1 and 2 coming out tomorrow for the Switch.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Are those... Wait, is that like a...
It's not a virtual console. It's like
NSO?
A reboot.
Oh, it's just they're trying to sell you it for $30 again.
I don't even know how much they're selling. Let's see. Advance Wars Switch price. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe fuck that. It's $60.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Maybe I'll just go back and play the original ones because I think their main thing is just it's an all new art style.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it. Which I was not expecting that to be $60.
All right.
But Nintendo will do it.
Yep, that's the problem. That's why I love the Steam Deck so much. It's all the like portability of the Switch, but like games are actually affordable. Like they're not $60 and stay $60 for 8 years. They go on sale.
Yeah.
I'm now a big advocate for piracy as games continue to get more expensive. Same with taxing my shipping routes. Big advocate for actual like seafaring piracy.
Yes. Where are you going with this, Jake?
No,
like Dead Island?
No, just piracy in general. Just go do it.
You're giving him a lot of credit if you thought that was a segue.
No, it wasn't a segue.
I thought he was about to talk about some kind of like Sea of Thieves or some shit.
No, I don't have much gaming news. The only thing I have is I don't know, fucking Twitter blue check marks are finally gone. Like
and the crowd goes mild.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what happens.
We're gonna see another bout of like people who aren't who they are popping up and being like, insulin is now free. This
would imply that people are coming back to Twitter, which I don't think is going to happen now.
I don't know what the
news outlets are leaving it.
Well, that was the one thing was so they decided to do legacy check marks for like published or verified sources like newspaper outlets and whatever. But Elon decided not to give the New York Times one because he did not think they were a legitimate company. His reasoning was because they posted too many boring stories.
They also labeled NPR as state-sponsored media, so that's just typical Brunkle Musk shenanigans.
But yeah, it was interesting. Everybody's back on Twitter just to claim that just to say, hey, I don't have a thing anymore. But now you can see the ones that do have the blue check mark and make fun of them, knowing they actually paid for it.
And isn't that really the goal we should have as a society?
Yeah, I think that is like put down your fellow man for paying that $8 and simping to Daddy Musk.
Elon Ma.
Or trying to get their, social media more attention. How selfish of them. I don't know. What about this other? Might be gaming news or this might be fake news. I don't know. So take this with a fucking grain of salt. But somebody posted a video of the first early gameplay trailer for Unrecord, the body cam FPS shooter. Yeah, FPS game.
Okay.
It's only a matter of time.
So what makes it special?
The problem with it is the trailer really... this cannot be the entire game, because I feel like it'd be too jarring, too annoying to play, is ultra realistic to the point where it just seems like in the trailer they just superimposed
shit. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, they have the some good filters on the screen there that really sell it as like footage. You can still tell it's a game after being told it's a game. It's right on that border for sure.
It's real.
When the action starts going, then yeah, that does look like a game. But when you're just like kind of meandering and walking around,
yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive graphically. I'm not gonna lie,
but it just kind of it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, and somebody brought this up. When is it too far? When is it like, especially when you're shooting somebody and you're seeing that violence and the gore, it's like your mind's going to start telling you you're watching a dead body in front of you.
Yeah, what's the highest ESRB rating right now?
AO.
Okay.
Adult only.
Yeah, I feel like this might be one of those ones that'll get an AO. Yeah, I mean right now I'll say and also with the caveat of graphics you're going to get diminishing returns here. But at least right now, yeah, it does feel very, very real. I always think of like, are the graphic every time some article goes, are the graphics too real? And then you see you hit the slider 3 years later, you're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Um,
This is to the point where like it's finally past the uncanny valley to where it's like, oh, yeah, that doesn't look real enough. It's just on that edge where my mind is telling me it's fake. So I'm okay with what I'm seeing, but it's like my fight or flight instinct is not going off. But this one I actually had a question. Is that actual body cam footage that they're saying is a game trailer?
Some
It's
assets look more realistic than others.
because like it could be just artifacts in the video that we're seeing that make it look kind of janky or
No,
they
I mean like
camera
the
work.
truck looks like a video game model.
yeah. I think the thing that sells it, as the comments say, and you see it towards the end of the trailer, is that like it's a lot of it's the light and exposure. You know, the way the light is coming into the warehouse in which the trailer's set.
Yeah,
Oh
if this
yeah,
game
I didn't.
supports ray tracing, that's a pretty apropos.
Yeah. I guess
You
the
said
question
that.
is, like, yes, the game can look this good.
Oh
Will it?
shit.
No.
That's right. This is on Unreal 5.
Okay. I
This
was
is
gonna
what
say, is this
Unreal
gonna
5
melt
looks
your
like. A
Jesus
lot of
Christ.
games are going to look like this.
Unreal 5? This time it's real.
This time
Um,
it's kind of real.
Will this melt your graphics card in the process, though? I guess is the question.
I don't know. I haven't played anything that's built on Unreal 5 yet. I know the like city demo needed some horsepower to run at higher resolutions with the settings turned up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if these devs are gonna take the time to further optimize it from there, but yeah, it's an interesting concept for a game. I'm sure there's going to be controversy around this, like there was controversy around Postal.
Yeah.
People are gonna think it's in poor taste and whatnot. I don't know that I have a strong opinion on it. I don't think I personally would play it. Largely because I don't like the vignetting around the main camera. But yeah, I don't necessarily think it's problematic.
Yeah. I think you're on point there where you say like this is gonna controversy in the same way that Postal or GTA does. Which is to say some, and it'll kind of be one of those ones that sits in the more prudish people's conscience for a while, but everyone else kind of be like, oh yeah, that was the game that looked like really real and stuff.
Do you think that'll hinder like development of games going forward if they get a AO rating, or if somebody ever eventually cracks down saying this is too real? Like Call of Duty's big on mass scale violence in a certain way, and like if they showed something like this that was gameplay footage and the game was like that, and you're just straight up going to people, especially if it's online, or constantly going up against other people, just slicing and dicing,
Well,
shooting
I
and
mean,
booting.
they at the end of the day they have to like program in a certain level of gore
Yeah.
and design art assets for that. So like as long as they don't go too overboard with it, I
And
don't think that's.
and the
gonna
other
be an
thing is
issue.
there's an economic disincentive for making your game AO.
Yeah.
Same way that making your game making your movie NC-17 is a risky maneuver because theaters aren't going to want to sell that, and
Well, they can't.
less people are going to
legally.
want to see it.
You
Yeah.
have to go to
So-
like a porno theater.
So then do they have to just simply scale down the gore? Is that's just the hard line where showing blood is not, because this footage that they showed, the one saving factor was the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of blood shown. Like the faces were blurred for the people that the guy was shooting, and it didn't seem like there was a ton of blood that was like no blood splatter or whatever. They just kind of like took the bullet and fell down, whatever. and they did kind of ragdoll a little bit.
Yeah, you do also notice that there was very little particle or debris or liquid simulations in this. Um, that might be a real challenge for the engine. Who knows?
Which
Or the
maybe
developers.
maybe that's a saving grace, is that, hey, we'll just not program gore into our game and have like blood splatter be a thing, which maybe moving forward that's not going to be like, hey, my game's not realistic enough, I need this or else I'm not like playing it. Maybe it's a good thing that we kind of censor some of the more gore as games start to look like real life, because they're really
I
starting to
think
look
we're already we've been at a point for a while where you can do some pretty like disturbing simulations of violence with the tools we've had, and the industry, polices itself in that regard. If a game were to get an AO rating, I mean, the ESRB, as I understand it, the ESRB, much like the MPAA, will tell you what your rating is and give you like notes on what they objected to that led to this rating, and then you then can go back and make the necessary changes to get a lower rating. That's what happened with San Andreas.
But games have been stylized in a way to where they're not as realistic to be able to show that. Like Doom is a good example where nobody's questioning Doom looks like real life, because it just, one, it's stylized not in that way, and
You
two,
mean that Caco Demon is fake?
Yeah. And it doesn't trigger that, oh my god, is this like footage from like an actual base on Mars? It's still got that soft,
Like,
I don't know what it is. It's like
Spec
that.
Ops: The Line in Unreal 5. That would be a fucking trip.
That'd be cool. But I don't feel like this is like, it looks really photorealistic in the way that Unreal 5's other stuff looks photorealistic, but it still is discernibly not real. Like some of the textures don't react with the lighting properly. There's a real drop in poly count on some assets in there. Like it's visibly a game.
Now,
But
on the one hand. On the other hand, I'll say this, is that I think that will help, alleviate those potential problems. But on the other hand, you have a whole thing which movies don't have, which is the ability for distribution by indie developers. And that's one of the questions this will come down to, is how easy is Unreal 5 to develop or use, because yes, I mean, there are some, if you have a really high quality monitor and you have, you can get those details, you can see past it. With those could be alleviated with visual tricks and classic visual sort of techniques and effects to help kind of blur that line. But what I'm thinking of is someone who's like a Toby Fox, who instead of being charming and eccentric is just unhinged and makes like a horror game, like a snuff film that you can play. And like if when someone makes a real snuff film, that it gets like Xeroxed onto like tapes, and there's like 5 copies going around, and then like the cops they hunt it down. But like you might just come across that on fucking itch.io.
Well, I mean, if it's something in that, I gotta imagine that stores are gonna not carry it on principle, and you'd have to distribute it via back channel methods, and its reach is going to be limited to the people who would have found that sort of thing anyway. I feel like this is one of those instances where the market's going to police itself pretty well. Like
I think that's going to be end goal, but in the process, those who get mastery over this are going to make some wild shit.
Yeah,
and I'm here to spectate on that.
We should not fear advances in technology.
Yeah, no sir. I want to see. I want someone to do the Skyrim or Morrowind remaster in this.
Well, I want them to finish the Morrowind remaster in Skyrim before they start working on anything in Unreal 5.
Yeah. Or remake Mario in Unreal 5.
I think someone did that. I think they did the first level of Mario 64 in Unreal 5, or maybe it was Unreal 4.
Let me see.
I'm looking at there are other videos on that channel, or on that Twitter page for the game Unrecord. There's just different. They might discuss some certain things, but they kind of move the camera around to show you that it's it is like a game that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Some of the early scenes, when you do get up close to certain things, you can see textures, but far away, where lighting is not as crucial.
Yeah, it's impressive, and we should celebrate how impressive it looks.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying at what point is it too much, and at what point do we need to dial things back before it like actually could give people like maybe trauma or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. Never seen something this realistic, and like how much is too much.
I guess
I feel like this has been said at many points along the video game history. This discussion's been had.
Kurt, I did find that Super Mario RTX, and it looks Unreal 5, but like it also looks like a one-man Unreal project.
I get that it's been said, but like it's been said about games that were clearly just like violent and like kind of close. You could still have that separation. We are now to the point where, with AI especially and mocap where it is to this point, it's like now you're gonna start there. The Twitter is ablaze with people thinking this was fucking found footage. Like people are literally debating, and people may have just not watched
Is
the
Twitter
entire video.
the barometer of our society?
It's a fuck ton of people. It has 17.1 million views, and you have a lot of engagement saying people literally questioning to the point where they had to like clarify, no, this is not real footage. This is also gameplay footage, not pre-rendered. So this is the stuff that you're going to have in your game. And it is a discourse that people are having, and people in the community are also speaking up and having similar concerns. That's why I raised the question, because I'm like, okay, this is the first time where I think that question has validity. At what point is it too far where you need to maybe start policing it more, or just leave it up to parents and like kids need to
it
not.
It has to be up to the individual, because like I don't know how you personally feel, but all these people feel that this might be the bridge too far. I don't feel that way. So like it's not a universal thing, and like who's to say it? I think this is something where like if it gets to that point and people are uncomfortable with it, people won't buy it and it won't be a viable product.
Yeah.
And I'll state the obvious here. Very obvious. The point is it'll come right after you get the porn of it. Get the porn game on there.
Oh yeah.
Unreal 5 porn.
Yeah, I mean that'll be
someone. And here's what will happen: someone will fucking do a deep fake onto the Unreal 5 porn game of some celebrity, and that shit'll fucking go viral.
That's where I mean,
right?
I think we're
it's
not
like
getting enough attention towards.
They'll put a VR onto like the fucking Kim Kardashian tape.
Yeah. I mean, people freaked out over a streamer just like having it in his background, and there were other streamers on the website, and that guy got so much flack and was, had to put out an apology video, and it did cause real people real distress. I mean, until you start making it of like politicians, nothing's ever going to change, like legally wise, because it's like it technically falls under like only 2 states' revenge porn laws.
Yeah, laws
weird sometimes.
I guess it's a kind of an unsatisfying answer, but I guess the answer is we'll see it when we get to it, and it's going to be pretty unequivocal. I think whatever trips over that line. But I don't think it's going to be Super Mario.
Probably not. Hopefully not.
Because he's, as evidenced by this movie, he is for the children.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of expected it to be a kids movie, or a family movie. But you can have a family movie that has stuff for adults and older people, the parents that, and like we've reviewed a bunch of movies that have done this very well. Paddington 1 and Paddington 2, we've sung the praises of that. There's a character going through a relatable arc for any person that's watching that movie. And Mitchell's versus the Machines was also a very good family movie, and that there was a little something for everyone to take away and enjoy from that. And they're just really well-made movies. And on the other hand, you have Illumination's formula, which is very basic plot, some licensed pop music, a lot of bright colors flashing in front of you at any given time, and moving it along quick, so you don't have time to think too much about it.
And cute little mascot characters.
Yeah.
I guess that's the easiest way to describe it is Super Mario Bros. Was an Illumination production, and Nintendo of Japan, I'm sure, was very happy.
I'm sure they're very pleased with the money it's
even
making.
Before the numbers rolled in, they're like, good, this is on brand for Mario, for me, for I guess widest appeal Mario, because there's some Marios that are a little less broad, because like this is like the new Super Mario Bros. Mario, where it's just like the most milk toast, no bumps, no chance of offending or any uneven parts. It's just all the way through. This is a generic Mario game, right? But then you have stuff like Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, and
Super
Mario RPGs, right? Or
Superstar Saga, that sort of thing.
It's funny you said the most inoffensive, but what I was the most intrigued about this movie was the backlash that it did and did not get from the same side about conversing opinions, which very funny saga to see upon release. Mario movie too woke, but also not woke at all at the same time. Meanwhile,
it's just people hitching on popular media for political, hangers on.
Meanwhile, Mario movie Go Woke, Go Broke. Also, it broke the box office.
That should have been my take before they came out. Mario woke is gonna go Mario broke.
That's the funny.
Run out of coins.
It's so fucking funny to see people fight on like the same side about if it's woke or not, and it's like, shut the fuck up. It's Mario, man.
I mean,
it's Mario.
Like, to the commonly used now definition of woke, I suppose it would be, but
the way it's used quite often is like woke is just a replacement for gay or black or like any like progressive ideology.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not at all. Like what is woke about it? What the fuck is woke about the Mario?
Princess Peach.
Being a person?
Argue with that. It's a major change for the character. That's
how she still needed saving though.
Not really.
The Mushroom Kingdom did. I mean, she's still like Mario still like needed to come save her. Like that's what at least he thought. And like yeah.
Well,
sure,
no, he was going to save Luigi.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I guess he was going to save.
She never
Luigi.
needed to be saved. She was demonstrably the most capable character throughout the entire movie. They literally say Mario's not important, and that's pretty much how he comes across in the movie.
This the only thing I have to really say about Peach um, is it just made me think of Shrek. Shrek one. And there is a moment where I was like, this feels a lot like Shrek, where the main character who's been kind of outcast from his normal world, which is, I mean, a common trope in everything, meets with the feisty, self-rescuing princess, and the singing, dancing, annoying sidekick character, voiced by a comedian, go on their montage adventure to go save the kingdom. I was like, this while pop music plays over top, I was like, this feels very Shrek.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing like woke about the Princess Peach thing is like it's only woke for like 1950s, 1960s era where like you're still living in like Snow White, Cinderella, or like main character, female main actresses or main characters.
I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying that these people would make that claim.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing was, I guess they were saying a lot of the contention was around Mario kind of being I wouldn't say pushover a little bit, but like also just getting his ass beat a lot, which somebody put it in a different perspective. It's like the director was making you watch a movie that felt like you were playing a Mario game for the first time. So you're not as good at first, but the more you watch it or play it, the better you get along the way and the more skilled in the mechanics.
I hope they
That's a hot
stretched
take.
before they reached for that
Oh,
one.
Fucking reach. She's learning how the mechanics of the world work, learning how the power up.
I would not say this movie is structured to make you feel like you're playing a Mario game.
You sit some fucking raggedy ass bitch down in a seat and hand them a goddamn paddle, and you say play World 1-1. See how many times they died to that first Goomba.
By that metric, every Marvel movie is structured like a Mario game.
Yeah, like
any movie where a character goes through an improvement arc. I will say though that I mean there was the training montage, which it very explicitly was like here he's playing the Mario, and they do that a couple times with a bunch of seats, and I will not argue there that was intentional and that worked fine.
Yeah, it's a fine way to incorporate a classic Mario like level design into the movie.
Counterpoint. There were a lot of montages in this movie.
Oh yeah,
far too many.
Montage City,
and that kind of leads into one of the real complaints I have about it is they worked very hard to kind of push this into 90 minutes, and it feels like it's going very fast.
Yeah, I feel like this was a 2-hour movie on release, and the studio said children are going to watch this. They're gonna shit their pants before 2 hours. Like
even though
parents are taking them right to the bathroom.
All the reviews I hear from families are them like my kids were like glued. They could not take their eyes off, and they wanted to watch it like 5 more times as soon as we left the theater. That's like what I hear from whenever these discussions come up in the families. Like dads and moms will talk about it like that. They could have made it 2 hours, and they could have stretched out some of the character moments that felt like they had about 2 lines of dialogue to resolve character arcs.
I think that's what kind of killed it. A part of me for it was, and yes, I know it's for kids. It's not supposed to be like you're supposed to kind of laugh it off at a lot of certain lines. But one of the things you said was like when Peach said, "Oh, Mario, he doesn't matter. Mario doesn't matter." It all right for that point in the movie. Yeah, he didn't matter, but it would have been much better if you developed them more to where he did matter, and then your main character doesn't feel like a nothing burger. Like he doesn't have to be like everything where he drowns out Peach and Luigi and everything else and Toad, Bowser, but he can at least be something. Like
and to be fair, he does win the conflicts in the movie. Like he does beat Donkey Kong, he does beat Bowser in the end. He gets there. We should say though that a lot of this movie and the internet's biggest Donkey Kong stan, Video Game Donkey, did mention this in his review. that's true, that a lot of this movie is taken up by the Kong army arc, which is then rendered null in the following scene.
I hate when movies do this where they set up something so big and then just render it useless. And it like there's literally a thing that I complained about that to Chris in the Mandalorian finale, that they rendered the what does it be, the penultimate episode?
Okay.
Yeah, second to last episode ending great, left you on the edge of your seats, and then rendered immediately dumb and inconsequential in the beginning of the finale.
Feels like
and it's
modern
like
Star Wars, yeah.
See,
yeah.
I'm glad you told me that, Jay, because I actually haven't seen those 2 episodes yet. So
oops.
no,
I'm behind. It took
I'm
me
honestly
so
don't
long
care.
to get through episode 3.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever. And this isn't about Mandalorian, but
we can make it about Mandalorian for 5 seconds.
they like render the Kong army they just out of sheer coincidence too. They're just like, Bowser's got a.
We know about
too.
their secret passage. Here come the Mad Max Koopas.
Like nothing fucking made sense in a lot of these scenes.
No,
nothing was explained. Nothing matters. That's what I mean. Nothing in this movie matters in the movie to the movie.
See, this is why I don't necessarily think that this was a 2-hour movie. I think that they had to stretch to 90 minutes because they didn't have any ambition to create a story beyond the most basic. This is what we need to get from set piece to set piece to set piece, because that's all this movie was. You go from the set piece of running around Brooklyn to the set piece of fixing the toilet to the set piece of getting sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom to the set piece of the zombie attack to the set piece of look at fucking Mushroom Kingdom to the Kong stuff to the Mario Kart stuff. To
every scene was developed by a different studio, and then it was kind of put together in the end like Lego blocks. I'm feeling it with you. I should say, as a consequence of this, the stakes are so low.
Yeah, there are no stakes in this movie.
This is the movie equivalent of a LaCroix, where you take a sip and you're like, oh, it's almost as if someone wrote a plot in the room over. Like, yes, I guess I can faintly detect the whiff of the Mushroom Kingdom being in danger. But you know what? We get one 30-second scene of the Mushroom Kingdom, and I have no other reason why I should care about it. And I don't know why Mario should care about it, and I don't know why when he finally beats the villain and he becomes the hero, he decides to live in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, you see,
and the only reason is because it's in the games.
Mario, I kind of get, because he's got the horn up for Peach, right?
Yeah.
That's
Luigi,
true.
I don't understand at all. He had a terrible time in the Mushroom Kingdom. An awful time. He was a hostage for most of it.
Now, call me crazy, but I feel like if they had set up like a B plot where Mario's plumbing skills were like invaluable in the Mushroom Kingdom, and that's why he stayed. Excellent.
That would
weird,
be clever.
Fucking weird. Like,
is it?
Why?
Wait a second. Is there not that much payoff, setup and payoff in this movie? It feels like there's not actually a lot. They don't. Not across the span of the movie.
Not really. No. Like I said,
other than introducing Mario concepts so that they can use them in the next scene.
They set up the star, and the
star is like a MacGuffin. They just tell you what it is, and that it's the key to this great power. Like it's not like we're setting this thing up to pay it off later.
Yeah, it feels like they don't do a lot of setup and payoff.
There really isn't much.
And the one payoff that they could do, they don't do, which is, and it would have been fine if there was ever a movie where it's fine to have this, it's this one where Mario gets the girl. He gets Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Like, that was the original plot of Super Mario Bros. was you get to kiss Peach at the end, and instead, like, he doesn't even hug Peach. They're like in a group photo, and then he's just hanging out with his brother, and that's the happy ending of the movie. Is he gets to hang out with his brother, which, I mean, that was the story that they set up at the beginning, was that they were the two plumbing brothers, and the brother, it's about family.
It's about their brotherhood.
Yeah, I can't even say like
So,
even if you want to like the mushrooms. So like, I guess they set up him not liking mushrooms, and then the payoff was mushrooms were the power up.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's a joke
Like,
involved.
That's
been-
the only.
But
the
like
only
him not
payoff.
liking mushrooms was wholly irrelevant to the movie, other than like the one gag of like, ugh, did it really have to be a mushroom?
Did it say it in the game though? I think
Yeah.
I was more annoyed at. I think Cranky Kong is canonically.
oh yeah,
Donkey's
he should have been Larry
grandpa.
David. He should have been voiced by Larry David
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
Fred Armisen.
I think Larry David.
'Cause,
declined
like,
offer, probably.
If someone, because I did the bit in the theater, and we both agreed it was great when like she asked him for his army, he goes, I don't think so.
You're not gonna get my army. I don't want to.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna fight Bowser today. No.
I do have that strong impulse of just like, I want to rewrite this movie now. Like, I want to give it where Cranky Kong doesn't even give the army; it's just Donkey Kong, and they go out. He joins the group, and we have a scene of them traveling as they establish the group dynamic. And I want a scene where I rewrite the ending, where it's Mario and the family sitting down to dinner at inside the house, and he's eating the mushrooms this time because he likes mushrooms now. And then he gets up. He's like, "Sorry, Ma, I gotta go." And he opens the door, and it's in the Mushroom Kingdom. And like,
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they could
that would
have.
have been like cool and like a payoff to him being like kind of a failure in the eyes of the family. Like, he made it, and he's in the Mushroom Kingdom, and everything worked out happily ever after.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting if they could like incorporate or show how like maybe the two worlds colliding, which is spoilers, I guess, but it's been out for 2 weeks, and if you haven't seen it, you're not a real fan. Where like I guess because they kind of like mash the two worlds together, or like
Yeah.
you get a bit of the Mushroom Kingdom spilling over into the other world just by via nuke.
So I don't.
You shoot a bomb into subspace, and this is what happens. Like,
So
I'm glad no one's got spaghettified in the process.
I feel like the reason that happened is it was a very half-assed attempt to raise the stakes in the final battle, because the audience lives in the real world and knows Brooklyn as a real place, and therefore you care about its survival, except
Yeah.
the movie does nothing to make you care about this. Like, none of these locations are meaningful in any way to any of the characters, other than for stated reasons. You don't really see any emotional connection. And also, it happened in the last movie, so they felt they needed to crib that from it.
I just had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast thinking about if the trying to relate the Mario movie to the Magic the Gathering universe, where like the only people
Super
who can
Mario
use
World is one of the planes.
or Mushroom Kingdom's a plane, the only people who can use the pipes and go between the planes are planeswalkers. So like all the Toads are just normal creatures, but like Peach and Mario are like planeswalkers. That's why he could like go between planes. And like the weird cloud area they were traveling through is like the blind eternities, and just thinking about like an Eldrazi creature.
I
just
almost made a Blind
fucking
Eternities joke
lurking.
as they were going through there. Yeah.
like yeah, like that's just the blind eternities going through, and like they totally ripped off March of the Machines plot threads from like Bowser.
Multiverses crashing
creating the
together is all the
world.
rage nowadays.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? You're just copying off Magic the Gathering. Like Bowser's just Ellis Dorn.
My favorite game was when Luigi's dad was completed by Bowser.
Yeah, nuts.
That wasn't
And then-
lava; it was glistening oil.
Yeah, Luigi had to give up his spark to cleanse him. That's why he's stuck in the Mushroom Kingdom. I get it now. Okay, yeah.
Guys, is
makes
Luigi's
sense.
Mansion just the plot of Scars of Mirrodin?
Is Cranky Kong like Nicol Bolas and his his plated army that can travel through the universes with the carts.
The Kong army was the
What is
undead
that?
raised.
Well, yeah, what is that?
No armor.
This is the
The
planar bridge.
ethereal armor.
Yeah.
Fucking A. It's the
rainbow
bridge.
planar bridge.
Rainbow planar bridge.
Oh,
Donkey's just Tezzeret making that shit.
The only other thing I gotta say about this Mario movie was the pop songs. What are we doing with these? These were the most generic pop songs.
Yeah.
Again, they played. I'm looking out for a hero, and I was like, I like this better in Shrek 2.
I mean, that shit's just for the adults, right?
Like
it's
that better in Shazam 2.
I think the only one that made me do anything other than roll my eyes was maybe like Thunderstruck.
Well,
but like even then,
No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Like they licensed a couple of like songs that I enjoy, but they were just like the most like played out.
Like you're making Warner Brothers blush at this point.
Yeah, because
Suicide Squad is like it's like I wouldn't even go that far.
Yeah, calm down, man. You're embarrassing yourself.
What are we? Some kind of Mario Who are we? Some kind of Mario Brothers?
Yeah. Yeah. Did
they ever have the Mario, Luigi Mario joke in this movie?
No.
It would have been so great if he has his ID card out and it's Mario.
Well, maybe they did like a movie detail type thing where it's like in frame for 1 second in the very corner of the screen where you wouldn't be looking under normal circumstances.
Yeah. There are plenty of, I mean, obviously this thing is jam-packed with references. It wouldn't be a Mario movie if you didn't do that. But they do.
Yeah, I think the only major references that never was touched on was Waluigi and Wario, but people are speculating that those could be the uncles.
But so the thing is, if they follow, as you know from our patron saint BDG, Waluigi and Wario are both not related to each other, nor are they related to the Mario Bros. They just happen to have inverse logos and also have mustaches and work together.
And happen to be pals and happen to hate the Mario Bros.
That's being said, if they were the antagonists of Super Mario Bros. 2,
so they show the like desert area where Waluigi Stadium is in Mario Baseball. So they kind of established that as being a possibility. Yeah, they might make a sequel to this. They might not. I mean, with the money it made, I'd say it's probably pretty likely that they'll make a sequel.
Illumination loves their sequels, and Nintendo is fine with pumping out more Mario content.
Yeah. So originally, when we were kind of not loving the trailers for this, and to be fair, I just want to be perfectly clear, I do not think this is a good movie.
Yeah.
The question was, the goal for it was, is it better than Super Mario Bros. 1992? And the answer to that question is kind of tricky. Because on the one hand, there aren't as many head scratchers as you got with the 92 movie. But on the other hand, it is so completely devoid of soul and creativity that it lacks the charm. There's a certain charm to the 1992 movie that this movie just does not have.
The true, like, the weird auteur genius of making the king not just a mushroom, but like a weird fungus that's like spread across the entire kingdom, like a slime mold. And fucking rocket, the jump power is rocket boots. Of course, obviously the Goombas, the fucking, not only them being weird small-headed dudes, but getting there via a de-evolution ray.
Yeah, and getting like character actors instead of just like recognizable names for the roles. Like I've used this line a couple times when people have asked me what I thought about the movie, and I think it's apropos, so I'll say it again here. This movie really feels like it was a product designed to make money. It was made to make money, not it wasn't made because anyone involved with it thought it'd be a fulfilling artistic endeavor to make it.
On the scale of product and art, this is like all the way towards product.
Yeah.
And classic, this falls under Universal. Like there's Super Mario World at Universal Studios, right?
They might have some partnerships.
Yeah, there is.
So this is to the point where there was a scene in this when they come to come to Kong country, and they go on the cart ride set to Take on Me by Aha. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is going to be a roller coaster at Universal Studios. Go ride Crazy Kong's jungle cart ride.
I could almost see that like kind of taking over like the Simpsons Back to the Future-esque type of ride where it's not like actually a roller coaster, but like it's a video of the Mario Kart track and you're in your little cart and it's got the gyros and it kind of simulates the motions that you'd be going through.
Or like a dark ride almost.
Yeah. It's very technologically advanced dark ride.
Yes. That's, it's just to that level. So, I mean, yeah, people are going to watch it because you know what Mario Bros. Is. We watched it because we know what Mario Bros. Is. Personally, I like Sonic 1 better. I felt it had more expression to it.
I would agree.
And more of its own thing. It wasn't afraid to... They weren't afraid to go to the Olive Garden.
Yeah, I would say skip this, honestly. Like, unless you have a kid that really wants to go see it, like, there's nothing here for you as an adult except some like really ham-fisted references to the games.
You'll get it on streaming at some point. Like it's a perfect 90 minutes. So like this is gonna go up on Cartoon Network and be aired as a TV airing.
It feels more like a Nickelodeon movie.
I guess I'll kind of be the contrarian. I think this is a good movie for just a specific audience. I mean, for those who are trying to break it down like we are and see if there's like good filmmaking. I mean, comparing it to Paddington 2 is just unfair.
If you're listening to this, you're not the target audience. I mean, even more obvious than it already is. Like
comparing it to Paddington 2 is interesting because they're both aimed at children, whereas Paddington 2 is an entertaining movie for adults as well because of just the pacing and the quality of it. And it's just quality over quantity with Paddington 2, whereas Mario is geared towards children, but is more quantity over quality, where they are jumping around, as you can see from the 60 montages that we went through. And it's jumpy, positive music throughout it to get people engaged, while there's references and characters from the games that are pretty deep. I mean, from all the way from 1 to, Odyssey and Galaxy, I recognized, characters, even the ones
there's a whole Mario galaxy of stars out there.
Yeah, so like you have a lot of stuff to like point out to, and like you'd be annoyed if you went to the movies with me. Like I was just like constantly going to Chris. That's the Goomba. That's
it's the I know what that is. Like it's not a mark of a quality picture.
I had such a shit day before going to see this. I sat in traffic for 2.5 hours because a motorcyclist decided to go up and die. So I had a pretty shit day, and I had one task to do that day, and I could barely get it done. That was mow the lawn. Regardless, I was happier after going to see the Mario movie. I had fun watching the Mario movie. Now that is relative to a complete and utter shit day that I had before it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I had fun because it was fun to point out things. It was fun to it was a pleasing watch.
I had
like,
fun in the same
animation-wise.
way that we had fun when we went to see Minions Rise of Gru. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Mhm.
not
I
so
mean,
much the
This
movie that
is
made me feel good,
Mhm.
but like,
there's just,
Illumination Studios is a cinematic candy shop, and this is one of the lollipops.
like I got to listen to the DK rap. I got to listen to like Seth Rogen's laugh and Donkey Kong.
except
There
they
was just a
cut it off.
lot going on, but it's worth a watch, and it's a good family movie to get your kids to sit down and shut up. As a family man myself, now Joseph will not be able to comprehend movies for a little while, but I would have loved to take
That is
him.
also one that we noted. I was like, if you wanted to introduce your child to the concept of a movie and liberate them from their tablet screen, graduate to big screen, this is the movie you train them on. You're like, all right, Joe, we're going to sit down for an hour and a half in this dark room and watch this. It's Mario. And we'll get you some popcorn and some candy, and you can sit and watch the whole thing in one shot.
I don't know how you can praise this movie for including the DK rap when it cuts out all the verses and there was no Lanky Kong in the audience. Chunky Kong made the cut, but Lanky Kong didn't.
And they also didn't credit Grant Kirkhope, the guy who made it, with
Look.
the score.
Apparently it was never going to be in it, and Seth Rogen had to fight tooth and nail to get it in there as little as it did. I'll take what I can get, okay? Bits and pieces, fine. But I got a little bit. I got a little bit to get a nut off, and I hope that Nintendo hears this and decides to put the full length version in the second Super Mario Brothers. There ain't no way they're not coming out with the second one. With the amount of like
I'm not going to stand for this Lanky Kong erasure.
I will say about a sequel, we totally forgot because I didn't stick around for the mid or end credits. I guess the mid one was, I looked it up later. Mid one was Bowser singing Peaches again, but he's like still in that glass jar, which, boys, you can't put anyone in a glass jar in this day and age on the internet.
Nowadays, not okay.
That means something different.
That was a miss. For sure. I said, were they going to come on him?
It's, at the same time, like, if you're making that joke, you're already lost as a person. I'm already, I'm in the dungeons already.
We know where we're going. There's no mystery.
There's a bunch of Bowsers in jars on some Discord server right now, just
absolutely
milky white.
Peaches
Glazed.
and cream. And then the other one.
That was too much for you, Jake?
17 points of psychic damage was just dealt to me. Jesus.
Yeah. Roll for intelligence. No, the last end credit scene was teasing Yoshi, even though Yoshis were already in this movie. Like an egg comes out of the rubble and like cracks, and then it cuts to black.
It's just gonna be Baby Godzilla.
Oh, was that it?
Movie.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Like they find an egg in the rubble of Bowser's ship from the end of this movie.
Well, yeah, they showed somebody giving that as a gift, I guess. So I just didn't think that.
Guys, we're gonna get Yoshi. Are you excited? We're gonna get Yoshi in the next one. It's like cool.
Get to hear it go, Yoshi.
It's just weird because it feels like this movie was just incomplete, and like there should be more. Like I keep on going back to like, why did he say in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Yeah,
like I mean, I feel like they didn't have the ambition to tell any kind of story beyond like the absolute bare minimum.
Unless they're saving that for the sequel, be like, me and my brother moved to the Mushroom Kingdom because I guess they were pretty cool and they never had indoor plumbing, so we're setting up the toads. We're throwing out the chamber pots and we're installing new toilets in every single.
It really does feel like they abandoned their family and just said, we're going to live in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, like there's no discussion.
Their family kind of sucked, though.
They don't miss you.
Mushrooms on pizza or pasta? What the fuck?
That is fair. I will condemn them.
Well, isn't there's a fucking pasta dish that has mushrooms in it?
Oh yes, for sure. I'm just never gonna eat it.
That looked like an Alfredo sauce that was with it. There's not a lot of like cream based or like whiter sauces that have mushrooms in them. Usually it's chicken masala.
Yeah,
which
I
is
was
like
about to say chicken masala is.
chicken masala, but that was a very white chicken masala minus chicken.
They just went a little heavy on the Parmesan. That happens.
Pasta dishes with mushrooms in it. We'll look it up.
Well, I think we'll conclude on that. We'll leave that to
No,
us,
the readers need to see it.
the readers.
Close us out with read us some pasta dishes with mushrooms in it over the credits here.
20 best mushroom pasta recipes. We got shrimp and mushroom linguine with creamy cheese herb sauce. We got
Is this just
portobello
gonna be
mushroom stroganoff.
Spaghetti meatballs with mushrooms.
Chef John's creamy mushroom pasta.
Who the
Baked
fuck's
pasta.
Chef John?
Yo, you don't shit on food wishes. That shit is bomb and dynamite and or bomb dynamite.
We
I
got,
just
this
asked
is,
who he was.
He's
don't know.
He's an awesome chef, and everyone should know him. I'll send you some recipes.
This is kind of a cheat mushroom and spinach ravioli with chive butter sauce. That means the mushrooms are probably in the ravioli. Penne with pancetta and mushrooms. Fettuccine and creamy mushroom and sage sauce. All right, that's close. I could see that. Maybe there was some pancetta in there. Yeah, okay. I'll do it. Interesting. What the fuck is this? Bacon, Brussels sprouts, and mushroom linguine? Oh, the presentation looks awful.
That's just millennial pasta.
Bacon deserves better than that.
No, it just looks like somebody cooked spaghetti and put a bunch of toppings on it.
My favorite Italian dish with mushrooms, beef stroganoff.
Yeah. Bow tie pasta with sausage, peas, and mushrooms. Okay.
Alrighty.
On that note.
And on that note,
and on that mushroom,
we'll wrap it up here. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 363 of the Saturn Studs Podcast. We'll be back next week with, I'm not sure what. There's a lot of candidates for review stuff. So that's going to be an interesting decision to make. But until then, be well, stay safe, and party like it's 1995.
peace.
Bye-bye.